My greetings to you, my friends. It's time for another tale. Well, to me, it's always time for a tale. Yes. Oh, and to keep up with all these fantastic stories, do remember to like, share, and subscribe. Yes, very important. Now, as to today's tale, it tells of one of the greatest deeds of a famed elven knight called Martin. So, if you're ready, I'll tell you the tale of a gifted cloak. Once an age ago, when the kings ruled the land, Martin, champion and guard of the western woods, knelt before the throne, retelling the deeds of his last quest. My good king, this I tell you true, the fiend stood taller than you do, and the mace with which he made war has left my bones more than sore, but by this my sword his terror has come to an end. Now no fear can be seen upon your road from bend to bend. My good Martin, great champion and friend, it seems the value of your service has no end. So please take this royal cloak of great treasure, so all may know how great is your heroic measure. With that, the king stepped down from his throne, flung off the cloak from his back, and settled it upon Martin's shoulders, and stayed there at his side a while to give him his next task. Now, your stay has not been very long, but in any realm there is always some wrong. Never is there any rest for all those I love as sons. But for this task, I need one whose courage comes in tons. A great beast has brought many elves low, and this needs mending before the coming snow. The king told Martin of this beast of terror with its bladed tusks, a hide as thick as stone and fangs as hungry as a storm that tears up the land. This unknown beast had kept the village of Prentuel in its claws for 2 whole seasons of the 4, and now by the skin of his teeth one rider had made it out to seek the help of the king. Martin put to horse without delay to save the village of Prentuel. The further he rode from the king's court, the colder the road became. But never did Martin take rest, for he was racing the winter snow, until he passed the river's crossing, where he brought his horse to a stop. For before him stood a poor and sorry sight, an old elf in rags that were older still, whose face was bound up in bandages. He stood there without a hope against the cold. This Martin could not let stand, so, drawing out his sword, he put it to his cloak. But wait, his cloak was royal in its standing. But Martin knew this poor elf would never last the snow as he was. So, with no more hesitation, he cut the royal cloak in 2 and placed half upon that poor elf's shoulders, and rode on with his quest. The sky was dark as pitch as Martin rode into the village of Prentuel, but no light would be needed to search out the beast of terror, for its howls filled the very air, chilling Martin's bones more than the coming snow. The howling took Martin to the edge of a wood, where he could feel burning eyes upon him. as could his horse. So he dismounted and made ready for the coming battle. He didn't have to wait long. Martin turned with his sword in hand as a dark mass charged towards him from the woods. He only just managed to step to the side, avoiding the full force of the blow. But still he was sent from his feet. Martin called out as he regained those feet. "Beast of terror, meet this your foe! No more will you bring elves to woe!" In answer to this challenge, the beast stood and beating its chest. It bore down its tusks and charged once again. Martin ducked and dove in and out of this deadly dance for what felt like hours, slashing out with his blade with each passing. Some tilts would echo with the howls of the beast, and others with the cries of Martin, both born of pain, till they stood facing each other, heaving in the cold of the night air.
"I will not yield! This can never be a draw! But never have I met so ferocious as this boar!"
The beast of terror pounced upon his words, and sending tufts flying high, charged him anew. Martin could no longer jump or roll, so summoning all his hope, he stood his ground, dagging his heels, and held forth his sword. With a great clap of thunder, the two met head-on, and the beast howled its last. Thereupon that sword of Martin's. With the dawn, Martin rode once more for the royal court, still racing that winter's snow. After miles were behind him and the flags of the king came into view, he felt a hit of a thought, as if a bolt from the blue.
Though draped in victory, I may be. The king's cloak I cut for all to see. He'll know this is a blade and not a beast, and think I value his gifts among the very least. What shame I'll put upon his honour! I cannot inflict on him such a horror.
So Martin, daring not to go any further, made his camp outside the city walls, caring not if the snow was to fall. As day turned to night more than once, Martin's worries grew all the more in his imagination, until his brooding was stopped by an unknown hand resting on his shoulders.
"Why would such a knight as you be tethered here as if by glue?"
Martin looked to the owner of this hand. It was the poor bandaged elf, and still with half a royal cloak upon him.
"Oh, why don't you know the greatness you've been gifted? That cloak we twin. From the king's very shoulders it was lifted. I cannot stand before him without it whole. My callous would cut him deep to his soul."
"Oh, foolish knight, your gift was greater still, and never will it bring you ill. Whatever is done to the least of mine
is done to me by our royal design." And with that, the poor elf tore the bandages from his face to reveal that he was indeed himself the king. Martin knew not what to do, and stood as frozen as a doe before the hunter.
"You've passed this, my test greater than any quest. Your actions in this and more are noble to their very core. For serving all those of mine in need, with no thought of you in each deed, you now become a true tournament prince of mine."
If after me you are to rule, that would be a fate most fine. I name you to this highest of ranks. So to you the kingdom may give thanks. Now, Martin's quests would number many and more, but by passing this king's test, he stands a tournament prince, and would one day compete for the throne. But that tale is another. Well, yes, Martin could battle with the most terrifying of monsters, but what truly made him great was that he did all that he did in the service of those in need, and never for his own glory. And that is why we still tell his story to this day. So, if his selfless deeds have sparked a story or two of great heroes in your head, then do email it to bard.elven.tales@gmail.com with your elder, of course, and I'll make it into a video just like this one. And to help spread these stories on your side of the mist, do remember to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Oh, it's very helpful indeed. And I'll see you soon for more Bard Elven Tales. Ha ha!